Yeah. Woo! Okay. What? What? Did it kick me out of my live stream? Are we still here? I don't know what happened. Are we still here? Can I get a notification from chat that it's still here? Yeah. So there's I'm spotty. Why am I spotty? Let's see what's going on. Is it the audio that's spotty? Let's just check. Let's check some settings. Make sure everything's good. Everything says it's good. I'm just going to trust that we're good. Chuck, if you can give me some audio on and off every 2 seconds. Should we sign out and try it again? I'm just going to check and see if this is a problem that's external. Audio is good here. Is video good here, Chuck? Audio's good here. I'm getting a couple people say it's good. All right, we're going to roll with it. If it gets out of control, just let me know in the chat what's going on. So there's some Matteo-isms that I had my face melted last night. Listen to me. Go see Matteo Mancuso at his trio. That's what we're leading today's stream with. It was exceptional. At no point did I feel like I was getting technique for technique's sake. However, it was fantastic evening of just incredible display of arrangements. I have to put this into, it wasn't just jamming. Those guys had really killer arrangements. A lot of times fusion stuff can be a little jammy. This was nice. It was he was using modelers. I'll have my opinions on that later. Not that it's a bad thing, but we're going to be talking about that. Now, the biggest takeaway here is he's got a new album coming out, Route 96. He's a youngster. I think he's just under 30 years old. He's 29 years old, something like that. He's a ripper. And listen, the new stuff that he's got sounds fun. He's got a tribute to Weather Report. He played that tune. It was killer. Now, obviously, the really clever version of Spain that he's got is awesome. The clever version of Chicken is awesome. Those are standards, and they've got great arrangements. It's really top-notch arrangements. So I saw him at City Winery. This room holds 270 in Nashville. Ripping stuff. And I wanted to talk about a takeaway that I have regarding his technique and watching him do it live, and what makes it, the things that will make it difficult for us flat pickers, right? Also, you know, it's serendipitous that it was another overlap of mine and John Gordy's channel, which was funny. He had just posted a Matteo Mancuso lick last week, and there's moments in that I can break down for you, that things that make it challenge for flat pick. Ways to overcome it is a more important thing, right? How to overcome these barriers that if you have this, which is just a different finger per string, if you have one note or 3 notes per string, it doesn't really matter. For us, it changes the direction of the pick, and it gets really intricate in how to deal with it. So, a couple of things to start with here. Let's just get a review of the concert. Concert was ripping. And bonus points for putting a big show in a small package. So by that, I mean, he obviously had a little Sprinter van out front of the venue, not a big tour bus and trailer. And he had these sticks that were just lights that were like on a stick. They had that synced up to the music. Obviously, they were playing to some tracks and backing so they could sync the lighting to it, which I thought was nice. You could really make a good light show go to the songs. And it wasn't like they had a huge budget for anything, but he had a good show and it felt cool. Bass player and drummer, nuts good. And so the audio, let's talk about the audio. They were playing direct, and there were some tracks being piped in, but not like the hero guitars. There's plenty of guitar players that have like doubled lines, and it gets a little super lame when everything's doubled. So if you miss a note, the track still plays the correct note. I think that's not the most awesome thing in the world. However, Matteo's thing had auxiliary guitar parts that were doing maybe finger picking lines or clean, or there'd be some keypads and synth pads underneath that were like making it cool and like fleshing out some of the harmony, because the bass player and him have so much intricate work in some of the dueling lines and stuff like that. So these pads and these other auxiliary instruments kind of fleshing out the harmony made it really nice. So the drummer was playing acoustic drums. He wasn't playing an electric kit or anything like that. And the guitar and the bass were direct. I couldn't tell which modeler he was using. I think he's using a Fractal now, but I'm not sure. It is weird when there's no amp in the room sound at a venue like that. So it's like if there's no amp bouncing off the wall of the stage or anything, it feels like I'm kind of two-dimensional on it. Did his tones sound great? Yeah, they sounded killer. Like his tones were really good. But the fact that there was no amp anywhere in the room made it feel two-dimensional. And there was no sense of depth and space to the sound. Because, when you have an amp in a room and then it's blending with the PA, it's like this summation of things, right? The physics of sound get involved with how it works. This is definitely not me saying modelers are bad or good. I could really care less which way you want to do the thing. But for me, it definitely reinforces like, man, I'd like to hear amps in the room. They had Wedges giving them some feedback on stage. I could tell he'd pull his in-ear out, and kind of go at it. So, needless to say, man, I'm really excited about his new album that's coming out later this year. I think he's just a wonderful player. He's a sweet guy. I got to just say hey to him at the end of the night. We had worked together in Germany at the Guitar Summit. And really, really great, nice guy. And, so go see it. It's killer. It's incredible. $38, whatever it is. It's awesome. You'll get your face meat melted off. Okay, now, the point of us hanging out is to get some takeaways and get some things that are things that I stole, things that I'm going to work on, things that I'm going to do and implement and take from him and try to apply it to my playing. Just because I like to have different colors. It's like I kind of go down the smorgasbord, the buffet of life, and get a little bit of Steve Morse and get a little bit of Eric Johnson, get a little bit of this, get a little Tony Rice, maybe a pinch of George Benson, right? Like I like to just get a little bit of everything and make my own gumbo, right? So the biggest thing here with Mancuso is he plays fingerstyle in not a Mike Seal. By the way, Mike Seal is a guy you guys need to go check out. Mike Seal plays kind of like this, Matteo plays almost like a bass player, and then he'll reach up and do some things like this. Very interesting technique. Very fun to watch. Like listening to it, there was oftentimes I would close my eyes and it made more sense. But when you watch it, you're like, that doesn't make any sense. But if I heard it, I could visualize it better. But seeing his technique makes it like not work in my brain. Okay, so let's talk about the things that I always take away from Matteo. This is not saying that his playing is limited to or defined by what I'm going to talk about today. This is just one little corner of his world. It's great touch, great tones. I mean, he did a wonderful cover of Ended His Lovers with a ripping solo. It was really, really great. Okay, so the thing that I want to talk about is how he can play one note per string, two notes per string, and get all these like interesting intervallic choices. And one thing he goes into when he really starts ripping is like this Quartal harmony, this like based off of fourths kind of sound. So, if we hear it, we have a bunch of fourths stacked against each other. So, in and of itself, this is an interesting shape. This is actually the building blocks for my tune Truth and Lie in a lot of ways. That's a bunch of, like a lot of, yeah, all this kind of like fourth, bunch of fourths all the way up and down the guitar. So if you don't know what I mean by fourths, it's like you're playing a note like this B, and then I'm going to go up and play an E. And then from the E, I'm going to play an A. And then we're going to have, so there's the E, F sharp. There's another one. And then the B to E again. The E to the 9, which is F sharp, and then to B. So this kind of looks like a D kind of thing. Like if you're going that kind of thing. We're gonna play this. We're gonna start here with this F sharp, C sharp, B, F sharp. So that's the whole stack. Kind of like an F sharp. Now you notice if I play this finger style, I can almost dedicate one. It gets really, really comfortable. But I can't do that. I'm not a finger style player. And one thing that I noticed was how much he would reach up and slide this on to assist with the guitar's muting. Like he constantly was reaching up and sliding on the little scrunchy thing. So as you can tell, there's no noise in the guitar, but if I remove it, we have a lot of noise on the guitar, just innately. It's like ready to take off. Now it's not. So if this is something you're interested in, you should look at grabbing one of these scrunchies. And sorry, I'm messing with the microphone. Getting one of these scrunchies and doing it. So the interesting thing about these shapes is they will stack. They'll stack almost like a diminished wheel. Like whatever you end on will be the first finger. Like if you end on the pinky here, first finger will be here. So there's some neat ways we could get into some different sequences, and we're going to attempt it. This takes being warmed up, which I'm not. So this is going to be a fun day. We're going to hear me struggle bus. So let's talk about this stack. One thing that you can add in there that's going to make this feel a little bit nicer is this. Putting that quick E in there turns it into a 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Right? Yeah. So the workaround is really in the right hand. That's really what we're getting at. Let's move this up to the next position so I don't have to stretch as far. Let's put it there, right? And I don't really have a ton of gain going on in the tone. So when I'm kind of dialing in a sound to work on this stuff, I don't want it too easy to play, because then I'm not really honest with myself on if the notes are clean and if I'm getting a good articulation on it or anything like that. So let's talk about some workarounds here for this stuff. I'm trying to get the guitar high enough where you guys can see the right hand. So in this kind of stack of harmony, it's neither major nor minor. It's neither major or minor at all. It's just kind of ambiguous because there's not a third. So if we input, I can see this sitting over an E. I could also see it sitting over a B. Let's sit over. Right? Kind of see how that works. Sit over E as well. You sit over that. Okay. So now let's talk about the right hand, which is really where things are going to have to get interesting. And I'm kind of experimenting with a lot of different things, especially when he has these ones that go. Because you can't really go. There's a speed limit on it. To do it fast. That's kind of like getting cleaner, right, as we get warmed up, right? Make sure that I don't unplug that microphone, right? And then you can keep stacking it. So I'm trying not to go too fast, trying not to get out from under us on the lesson. So let's take this grouping. Watch the right hand. So it's like down, pull off, down, up. It could also be up, up. See how many options we have in the direction there? So you could tell it's really, really difficult, really new to me, and really kind of just getting it under my fingers. But like I said, seeing Matteo last night really inspired me to kind of look at some of these sequences today with a microscopic view. And John Cordy had a lick, and I forget exactly how the lick goes, but I'm going to paraphrase it. Something like that. I think it's it. Oh. Yeah, that is. Yeah. So the last section of this lick, let's talk about the lick in kind of three different spots, right? The first spot, it feels more like a Tom Quill thing. That feels like something that I've seen and heard guys like Tom and Tim Miller and Brett Garcett and those guys do, where it's like down, hammer, middle, down, hammer, middle, pull, down. So this one feels normal. Now you could also play it with alternate picking. I still would use that pull off on the top, I think. Yeah. That just sounds nice and articulate to me. Now the middle section is something that lays into mind that like that's sorry, people be blowing me up in my live stream. I hate it. There we go. So the middle section is like something that I use a lot, which is like this octave displacement thing. Not really displacing the octave, but laying it out in the guitar in like this diagonal situation. I use this stuff all the time. If you're on my Patreon and you're ever in those classes, or if you've seen my videos, or maybe even watched some of my free stuff on Instagram, you're going to see this octave stuff where I play it like... I use that kind of stuff all the time. I use it in pentatonics as well. Kind of those kind of things, right? So let's go back to this middle. We're singing this in the key of G. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 5. Sorry. And then 1. And then play the same octave. We're going to invert it. Now, interesting point right here is the middle finger is going to want to play that return note on the A. I actually think it feels better as the first finger. And I noticed a lot of Matteo's hand gripping was very much like this throughout the evening as he played a lot of that harmony, okay? And I'm by no stretch of the imagination spent enough time in this world trying to decipher his stuff, but I've messed with a little bit of it. I find it fascinating to try to get that finger style, some of those finger style licks under the hands of the alternate picking. That's really what we're talking about today. I'm not trying to be like, this is how you do it. I'm just saying this is what I've discovered. So when you playing these 2 octaves, instead of playing that with the middle finger, you see how it automatically puts you into that 4th grip? It's all automatically right there, right? Right, so here's the lick that I think John Cordy had. This is an assimilation. I'm not saying that this is exactly right, but it's the right thing. Now notice this last line. Sorry. That last line is very much this. It's a lot of that Eric Johnson-y kind of thing, right? Or the Joe Bonamassa thing. So the hand actually feels good doing that. Right? That feels nice. Try. Right. Not far off. Notice this one section where I'm playing. It's almost like you have to remove a note from the pentatonic if you're going to. So it's an amount of note per string thing. That's what I'm getting at. The amount of notes per string. So you have 1 note, 2 notes, 2 notes, 1 note, 2 notes. This line actually feels pretty comfortable in the right hand to me and doesn't need any mutating to get it to work. Now, as we come out of this, this is where we get into the sequence thing. So, if you want to get better at this, try just getting used to the left hand first. Trying to get that nice and feeling good and in time. Now you notice you're going to have more force exertion over that to try to get it than if you're just striking the notes individually. Okay, now part 2 of that is implementing this Tom Quayle kind of thing, which is down, hammer, middle. So down, hammer, middle, down, hammer, middle, down, hammer. Now I can do it and I feel more relaxed. I can like talk to you while I'm like blowing over it, right? It's like, because there's just a little bit more input from the right hand, I can get that thing going around and around, right? Does that make sense? So that's how you practice it. That's how I practice it. And it's really new to me. But seeing Mancuso do it in the room and move those around it was killer. It was so killer. And it inspired me to kind of like look at it, you know. So now if we're going to work into it from there, we got to start talking about sequencing it. And a great place to start is what's going to be needed. And I think there's going to be some sweeping needed to do it at some insane tempos, like what he was doing. Specifically in the B and G strings, if you look at it, it's like pull with the middle finger. You can start to see how it needs to work, right? So it's like either down, pull off, up, or middle, pull off, up, and then middle. There you go. Kind of feeling that rhythm. Does that make sense? And I'm on the bridge pickup, and I still feel like it's nice and smooth sounding. It doesn't feel like it's, you know, I don't feel like it sounds like Guitar Center. You know what I mean? No offense, Guitar Center. So the hybrid pick, this is True World saying the hybrid picking scares him. All right, look at this. A lot of this stuff is used in my songs specifically, like in that head to which one is that? What's the name of that song? Beyond the Reef. Yeah. It's also in the head to God Alive. That's the sequence for that. Really quick and I'm out of shape on it, but that's the sequence. So a lot of these kind of hybrid things, you can distill them down. You can keep making them simpler in the harmony until it's a shape and a look that you're used to. Like for me as a bluegrass guy, I'm used to... These are kind of lines that I like. So seeing it in a dominant seventh really helps me. You could probably have it as dominant there. Yeah. And then what? Yeah. Ah. I don't know why I want to keep playing F, but I do. Yeah. brain hurts. But putting it into these dominant seventh situations. That's the same information that I'm using when I'm... It's the same kind of right hand technique. Again, this is not perfected yet. It's something that is being honed and kind of worked on. And seeing, you know, guys play with a completely different technique to me is always inspiring. And that doesn't necessarily just mean finger styles. Like, I'm very inspired by Dwayne Allman and Derek Trucks and a lot of those slide players with some of the licks that I use all the time. You know. So, to review, the first thing that we're going to do is look at the quartal harmony in fourths. It can be down here. And if you look in the middle of that, that's where we're going to see some of those sweepings. All right. So the first thing is to look at the fourths as harmony. So this is where the right hand gets really tricky, because doing it slow, there we go, is where you're going to see how the right hand has to mutate at speed, playing it faster than when I'm playing it slower. So it's an interesting kind of dance to get things where I'm going to economy pick and where I'm going to hammer on and not use any picking, and where I'm going to use some right hand hybrid type of stuff. But just for argument's sake of just going up it and down it, that's step one. And remembering that this is like a sequence. It can be stacked like that as well. Sorry. Kind of have it all over the place, really slipping and sliding. But in general, it's not really about the left hand today. We're just talking about the right hand and how to get it to work. So now from there, the next part we need to review that we did today was looking at a middle finger, pull off, and then up, middle finger. There we go. Nice and clean. All right. It actually sounded like somebody there for a minute. All right. Yeah, there we go. So, in general, I got my face melted last night, and it felt good. I loved it. I'd love to have Matteo out at the Woodshed this year. Woodshed Guitar Experience is August 27th through the 30th. I'm going to announce one name right now. Am I going to announce a name right now? We're going to be bringing Eric Gales out to the Woodshed Guitar Experience this year. So, if you're interested in joining us for 4 days out in lovely Tennessee, the great state of Tennessee, spend 4 days out with us in the woods, lakefront property, multiple stages. Single cabins, I think, might be on a waiting list right now. But the group, the dual, camper cabins, plenty of those left, if I'm not mistaken. We only allow 100 attendees. So it's a very limited, very community-driven, very, 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 I don't know how to say it, like very community-driven, very small, intimate kind of hang. And you get master classes with all the instructors. Every night you get a concert. And I'll be announcing more players as the next few weeks unfold. But yeah, single on-site is waiting list, but single hotel is still available. Thanks, Chuck. Thanks for helping me out there. This is the Woodshed Guitar Experience, 4 days, 3 nights, concerts, master classes. There you have it. Lovely Crossville, Tennessee, right there on the lakefront property of Lake Francis that we own. We can jam all night long. There's no ceiling to when we have to stop making noise in the evening. And it's a great time. You get to jam with all the artists, myself and all the artists and live band and all that stuff. It's fantastic. It is really, really special. I'm very, very honored that Eric Gales has said yes to joining us this year. He is a true blessing to the guitar community. What a musical, just deep, vibey player he is. And I know a lot of you guys have asked for him to be at the Woodshed Guitar Experience. So this is your year. We're making those requests happen. That's what we want to do. We're like it's like where we make the dreams come true on your fantasy rock star weekends. Yeah, Eric is super excited to have him. I just can't wait. And yeah, so if you're interested in that, Chuck's got the link right there. I'm trying to, fingers crossed that we could get Matteo out there with, I got to talk to him a little bit last night. Really is his tour schedule, as he's touring hard this year, which is great. Again, great production, great tones. Everything was just rocking, man. Just spectacular show. And if you have an opportunity to go see him live, go see him. It's fantastic. You'll get your face melted. You'll be inspired. And yeah. So with that said, let's open up the floor for questions. It is that time of the live stream. We're going to be hitting the Q&A. And already I see two things sticking out at me. One is Henry Cross 8776 says tabs for this. Man, I don't teach in tab format. However, there are tabs on my website, not specifically for this, but I teach from a very much a trying to instill and learn the fretboard to where you're not married to tablature. I try to teach from a point of view that I learned how to play the guitar. My granddad taught me how to play just by ear and visualization and putting things together like that. And then I went on to go to music school just for a short amount of time. And then I started working professionally. So I have a interesting way of seeing the fretboard that I think is helpful to a lot of people. And I think oftentimes tab can be something that you get enslaved to, and you learn something, but you don't really learn it. You don't really know what you're doing. And I'm not dissing tabs. I think they're great. They make things quick to assimilate. However, if it's not truly getting to that next layer of learning, then you're not really doing yourself any good. So Henry if you're interested in this type of stuff, this is taught on my master classes on Patreon. It's patreon.com/AndyWoodMusic. It's right there. And that's where we go into depth in video lesson format, and then also just in fingering, pick direction. Again, the interesting thing here, Henry, is if I just gave you the tablature, you would only have the left hand to this. You see what I'm saying? That's not very useful. The tablature, of course we could make some picking, down arrow, square, whatever. We could do some things, but I think it's just more important just to kind of see how this stuff is happening. See how that's working to get it to flow. I think it's a little more valuable than just a tablature, and I'm not trying to be dismissive. I'm actually trying to be helpful. So right under that, and it's True World, I gotta get my ass in that master class. I feel like that's a song. Gotta get my ass in the master class. Totally like a dad song right there, like boomer song, right? Got to get my ass in the master class. I feel like you really do. You need to get in there, and it's every Wednesday night, usually about 6:30 Eastern when we start. We run for 2 hours. That's on Patreon, and I do it on Zoom, so it's not just like a vanilla interactive situation. It's a very interactive thing. It's like this on steroids, right? Because you can actually talk to me and play the lick back to me, and I can help you. Masterclass Dad Rock commercial jingle. That's it. That's what we're doing right now. Make a masterclass Dad Rock commercial jingles. I love it. But yeah, this is a really great community, and where we deep dive into it. And if you get in there and just it's like holding yourself accountable, like having a fitness trainer or something, right? It's like the hardest part about practicing, I find, is putting your butt in the chair and making yourself do it. So having not just me, but a group of guys on Wednesday to help hold you accountable, I think you'll see the growth that you want to see in your playing, even more so than just sitting in your chair and noodling, right? Or learning a lick or whatever, right? So, all right. Now, so check out the Gypsy Jazz video. Yosho Stefan, who's no slouch, he seems in awe of Matteo. It says a lot. Yeah, I think it really just boils down to when people see that technique, it's kind of mind-blowing. Like, it's just a wild technique, really, really interesting. It's hard to describe, and I think it's just as entertaining to watch it as it is to hear it, because it's just like not like anything. And I think Yosho is a fabulous gypsy jazz player, one of my favorites. Really, I love Yosho's playing. This is coming from Lamar Brewster. He says, is all of your practice at home through your monitors? If so, do you do anything to adjust the dynamics of a loud amp live? Lamar, I got the question. The answer is complicated, as they all are. Here's the answer to Lamar's question. I tend to practice with my monitors on. I tend to learn with my monitors on, using a tone like what I'm using right now, which is like the SL68, into the aux, into the monitors, using my effects, whatever, down at the bottom. However, when it comes time to rehearse and truly practice, I will set up my rig in the other side of this room, and I will use a load box like a Reload 2 or a Fryette power station to bring the volume of the amp down, but it actually be like the amp and the amp's tone. So the amp is running at the volumes. I think this is just a cardinal rule for me. The volumes on the amp, that's where they go. You know what I'm saying? Like, if the amp sounds best with it at noon, so be it. The amp's at noon. And the way I leash the volume is using a Fryette power station or a UA aux or a 2 notes reload 2 or something like that, something to that effect. That way the amp still feels and reacts like it's supposed to with its controls at those volumes. And then I just bring in the volume needed to play along with the backing track on the computer speakers, right? So that's how I handle it. There's a difference between learning and practice and rehearsal. Those are two different things, completely different. So Fit to Praise is in the house. Masterclass is where it's at. See y'all there. Fit to Praise is giving us the vouch, the non-paid endorsement right there. Love it. Love to see it. Jamtrack says, Andy, ever tried the Eric Johnson DiMarzios? I love your EJ tips. I've not. I haven't found a need to, and I'll tell you why. It's because Eric himself uses so many guitars so often that seems to be the lowest common denominator when I'm chasing that sound. I've seen Eric use an SG often. I've seen him use 335s a lot. I've seen him use multiple different strats, like all kinds of different strats. So I rarely take into account that it has to be a certain pickup because he always sounds like Eric and he's always playing different guitars. That's it. Maybe I should try those pickups or something. I don't know. Illusion of Todd. I think that's one thing a lot of modern players don't really practice, and that's learning the dynamics of a real amp and cab as well as your modeler setup. Absolutely. If there's only one thing that if I was in charge of the world and I could snap my fingers, I would have had the boys last night playing on real amps. But it's just because the physics of sound in the room is, in my opinion, better. Again, it's like, but who the hell am I, right? Like, but my opinion is like, I like it when amps are in the room. They create a depth and a 3D feel to the whole environment that really makes a difference. So, Albin says, Andy, if I can't make the master class due to the time differences, can I watch the lessons later? You absolutely can watch them later. And if you've got topics that you want addressed, you just simply let me know what those topics are, and I'll address them in the next masterclass. Then you can re-watch it, right? So yeah, they're recorded. Thanks to Jay. Jay Smorey records those. 1301 Wesley in the house saying, Andy, I love the tone. How often do you refresh your guitars? Thank you, brother. No worries. Thanks for the kind words. My tone is very simple right now. It's very much the Woodshed compressor into only the red side of the gearbox, into a VP4 for reverb only. And that's the effects. The amp is a SL68. Loud. Real loud. As loud as it'll go. And I have to hit it hard with humbuckers to try to get it to break up, but it's predominantly clean. So, yeah. Ben, I'm 48. Sorry. Okay, Ben Abercrombie. I'm 48 years old. Little late to the party. I disagree, man. Let me throw some information at you. Jeff Beck died playing better than he played in his whole life. Timmons gets better every time I hear him. I like Timmons better. I like Timmons' playing now 50s and up. Like once Timmons hit 50 years old and higher and he was doing Resolution and all these albums, I think that's, I don't know, was he 50 when he made Resolution? Maybe not quite. I don't remember. I don't think there's a late to the party thing. I just refuse to believe that. So much so that I'm trying to learn new stuff every day. And, you know, I'm going to say it here. I'm going to buy a banjo this year and start really actually trying to play some banjo. I can noodle enough on it to get by in a session, but not enough to be proper. So I'm also going to try to be playing fiddle more. I say that all the time, and I just never make time to do it. I need to. I don't think there's a time limit on when you can dig in and get serious about it. I think it's like fitness. You can get serious whenever you want to get serious. Merlin for Life says he just got 2 of my signature model guitars, and they're the best guitars he's ever bonded with. I love seeing that. I think these are working man's guitars. They don't require a lot of babysitting, and they always just deliver, man. They're really, really good. Would your Patreon class be good for someone who, like me, played a lot as a kid and young adult coming back to it after a 15-year hiatus? This is Eddie593. Actually, Eddie, you're kind of my target demographic. Most of the guys in my Patreon, especially in the masterclass, most of those cats are dudes that played more a long time ago and are just rediscovering it and getting back into it. I don't have it's not like reserved for the elite or any kind of foolishness like that. I have a couple of guys that are career oriented in their playing. They're young. They're going to Belmont or, move to Nashville or whatever. But in general, no, man, most of the playing skill set in my group is weekend warriors. We'll call it that, like weekend warriors. So, I think here's the deal, Eddie. Eddie593, this is really just to you, and this is to everyone else. Look, it's $25 to be in the master class. $25 a month. The way I come about that number is like, it's like a double album, a double CD. It's like buying a double CD. It's cheaper than any video game or anything like that. It's cheaper than most all online like pre-recorded lesson packages and things like that. It's basically what, 3 or 4 Starbucks a month, 3 Starbucks a month. That's the number. So if you're able financially to try out the masterclass, you get 4 masterclasses for $25 a month. On top of that, you get access to all of the content that I post on Patreon, which is like 600 or 700 posts on there. Like everything, like AXFX patches, delay settings, countless lessons, literally hundreds of video lessons. So for $25 a month, it's just a really great deal. And if you don't like it, you didn't lose that much money. So I encourage anybody that's curious about it, try it on for a month and then just see if it feels good. See if you like the hang, see if you like the zoom. To me, it's a really great group of dudes, and it's very interactive, and it's a great community. So try it out. Yeah, it's not a wallet busting scenario. So just make sure to sign up at the combo tier, which is a $25 tier, and you'll get access to everything. Yeah. Beer money. Thank you, True World. I appreciate it. So Academy here, Gnostic Academy, gave me a $5 beer money. I appreciate that. Cheers, my friend. I will have a cold one later, thanks to you. He says, I love the channel, and I really appreciate the Woodshed. You legend. Man, listen, I do this as like a second or third tier to like, writing songs and being a session player and playing on the road and doing those things. But you guys have made me feel very safe to give my opinions, right? You guys have made me feel like I can spend the time to test things like a Y cable on an old Marshall to validate or invalidate some of these myths and legends. And, I think the gratitude is very much from me to you as well for chiming in and making the community what it is, and subscribing and joining the Patreon and buying the stuff that I have to offer. And that's a gratitude from me to y'all, seriously, because there's a lot of these things that I've always kind of wondered, but I could never justify spending days at a time testing or working on it because I had to actually work, with whether it be touring or whatever. And because of your support on these platforms, I'm able to dig deeper into some of these what ifs. Like I've got seven, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I get 7 tube drivers here that I'm going to shoot out so you guys can hear the difference of the tube drivers, right? Stuff like that. It's just crazy, right? These crazy things that I can test out, and you guys have made that a reality for me. So I just thank you, and thanks for making me feel like there's an outlet here for like-minded individuals that are interested in some of the things that I'm interested in, and encouraging that. So yeah, man. Millennial Blues Man, it's good for any level. Cannot recommend it enough. You should try the lessons. It's amazing. Cheers, my friend. Thank you for the kind words. So Candyman21, he's chiming in. I've got the gearbox in the other day. After your recommendation, I have to say it's pretty badass. The noise gate alone is just amazing. Got the dark singing tone out of it too. Yeah, it really nails that, like, especially with the mids down. Like right now my settings are gain at 1 o'clock with the mids way down. The bass at like 11 o'clock and the treble at noon on the red side. So that's what you're hearing right now. We're talking about you making available yourself in a very vulnerable way. It's generally appreciated. 50-year-old guy. Your time is very valued, man. I appreciate you hanging out with us, Jamtrack says he's doing a rig of doom. This is my man Jamtrax right here. He's trying to work up the nerve for a lesson. Could you help with guiding me with a 5-string electric baritone Mando? Absolutely. Be happy to do it. And I've actually toyed with the idea of getting one of those octave mandolins myself. I think those are really, really cool. So yeah. And Henry is saying he loves the tone. Yeah, it's real simple, meat and potatoes, but I like this kind of sound a lot. And usually when I start playing anything fast, I'll turn the reverb off and bring the delay up. That's more like for my speed kind of stuff. So like for the fast stuff, that kind of stuff sounds better with the delay, the reverb off and the delay on. Yeah, cheers, man. Cheers for that beer money. Appreciate you. And you should try the gearbox. It's got a lot to offer. I mean, even on this, this sound right here, just going from the bridge to the split sounds is nice. That's just touch difference. pitch shift in that VP4. I think it sounds nice. It's got a nice, like, watery kind of sound. I got a little brave trying to do some of those licks that I don't really, but that's all right. Are those sweeps all pick, or do you hybrid them? It just depends. Sometimes I might go... that'd be like all pick. If I'm... but I also might have them as an option as hybrid picking too. It's a little more articulate, like when I do those. Those are like really a little more focused and articulate, so that's like a calculated attack. That'd be like a combination of both of them, right? Digging in with the pick. It's really kind of choosing which one that might suit the needs. Yeah, Jam Tracks, he's saying, I've never heard anyone else play. It's rare that I can get other folks to play. It's an open floor for people that want to play, but I think a lot of folks tend to want to mute their screens and then play, and then unmute and ask a question. I think that's kind of a little more common. Andy, any plans to get Matteo on your podcast? I'd love to have him on the podcast. I really want to get him at Woodshed. That's what I'd like to have. True is saying the next pedal's on the Eventide. I'd get the VP4 over the Eventide. I think it kills it. That's just me. That, it's like, I think the VP4 is better than the Eventide. It's got a thing that just sounds good, man. It always sounds right in the mix. And not that the Eventide doesn't, but the Eventide has got so much editing that I hate. I hate the UI on the Eventide. I think the UI on the Fractal's a lot better. So with that said, kids, man, if Matteo Mancuso comes to your area, go see him. Now's the point in the show where we have a little bit of housekeeping. If you're watching this in real time and you're hanging out with the live streams, thank you for being here and bringing the questions to the table and kicking it with us. If you're watching this after the fact, as I will leave them up on YouTube, these are not pre-recorded. These are live in the moment. And if you're watching this, please subscribe, all that kind of YouTuber jargon. The housekeeping means that it's time to say, go to andywoodmusic.com, buy some merch, because we're going to get Chuck a McLaren. Chuck is the one that runs the store over there, and my goal is to just buy him a McLaren. I don't know if if we sell enough merch, it's going to be sooner. If we don't, it's going to take a long time. It might not even happen. So we need to sell enough merch to where we can buy Chuck this McLaren. It's going to happen. So you do that by going to andywoodmusic.com. Buy a hoodie. Buy a hat. Buy some backing tracks. Buy anything to get Chuck in that McLaren. That's the move. I appreciate what he does for the store. And the running joke has now become a mission. You know what I mean? That's where we're at. That's where we're at. He keeps changing his mind. He doesn't get that. He doesn't get that luxury to change his mind. You know what I mean? This is what we choose. We choose his fate. So Patreon is for the masterclass. We got some fun stuff coming. We're talking about trying to move everything to the website eventually. So please, give feedback. Is that something you guys would like to see? Joey says that's a lot of merch. That's what we do, baby. We got options. In the store, you're going to see the several different styles of merch. You're going to have, obviously, the clothing and hats and hoodies and junk like that. And then you're going to have the digital junk, which is like, I say junk, but it's like stuff that I'm proud of. For about $5, you can get the Axe tones that I use. And there's going to be bundles that would encompass tones, backing tracks, transcriptions, all that kind of stuff. All those kind of learning tools and learning assets are over on the website. And then, of course, they got tour dates. We need to update that calendar. So Chuck and I are going to do that. Tour dates are coming at you. And get in the masterclass. Get your ass in the masterclass. That's going to be at patreon.com/AndyWoodMusic. $25 get you 4 masterclass hangs and access to the 600 or 700 lesson videos that are over there. So with that said, kids, I hope you have a great week. Go see Matteo Mancuso. I'm going to sit here and work on his stuff and try to become a better guitar player. I felt super inspired last night. I think some of this stuff's really fun, and I want to dig deeper into it. So hope everyone has a great week. Be blessed. We'll see you all real soon.